Ida/for exposing my mom, sister, and cousin at a family event, by USCR 7. I 21F live with my mom, 56F and sister 25F. I work part-time and clean houses on my off days to pay for school, rent, and other necessities. So my savings are about 1-2K. My mom and sister have well-paying job but can never budget and have bad spending habits. I recently found out that my safe disguised as a book was missing. I put my money in cash in a safe book in a hide area is because my sister and mother had 2 incidents of taking money from me. I forgave them but I'm not stupid as they will jump at the chance again. So all my money is bent at the right hand corner. I have pics and videos of them bent, numbers of some bills, safe and being bent. Furthermore, I found it broken open in the garage bin covered/wrapped in cardboard. My cousin, 24F, was over the other day and I said hi to her in the kitchen and she was carrying the same cardboard. It was from a ginger ale box. Go to the backyard with my mom and sister outside already. I just came into the kitchen to wash my hands and go upstairs and shower as I came home from school and was on the bus. Helps keep COVID away. I decided to check the wallets of my mom's and sister's and there was the bills with the bent corners. I took a pictures and videos. As I came up with a plan to be petty. The next day, my extended family was at my aunt's sitting around and talking. I asked my cousin what she was doing with the cardboard at my mom's house with my sister and her. She said she was helping my mom spray paint some frames. My mom likes to refurbish furniture. I said okay, then I got up to get my bag, with the broken book safe, and grabbed my sister's and mother's wallet. I came back and dropped the broken book safe in front of my cousin. My sister was close by. I asked her if she knew what this was. She had a surprised look on her face, but said nothing. I then turned to my sister and said you definitely know what this is. By then everyone was watching. Next I showed my family all the pics and videos. I even opened their wallets in front of the family showing my money with the bended corners in it. One pic clearly showed the numbers on those bills, the ones in the wallet. My cousin's mom started going off on her daughter for stealing from family. Most were speechless. But my mom, sister, and cousin tried everything to defend themselves. I then stated I'm being generous by not going to the police right away and giving them a month to return what they owe. Also that I'm moving out. I apologized to my aunt for the trouble. Then I went home and added a lock and chain on my bedroom door. Since then I have spoken to some family members. But some have said I went overboard and there were less dramatic ways of doing this. So Ida. Edit, I'm getting a savings account and credit card Monday. Also my cousin, the one who steals, is read the posts and comments. Edit, thank you everyone for the awards but I only had this post up for a few hours and have gotten a lot of messages about me mentioning COVID. They are saying it's just about its government control and me being called a sheep. So I will be deleting this account shortly. Update, so before I delete, my aunt, the one who had the dinner at her house, gave me the money my mom and sister took as she is giving them extra time to repay her and she wrote up a contract so she can take legal action if needed. She didn't want me to file a police report as she knows it puts stress on me. Basically she handled it. My other aunt, cousin's mom, contacted me again and said she was selling my cousin iPad, Switch Plus games and making her work to repay me by the end of the month. I'm currently staying in my friend's basement for a few weeks till I find a more permanent situation. My friend's parents is giving me a really cheap price, as I would bake cupcakes and cakes for them every so often. I took a present back from a rude kid's birthday party, by user Woven Aesthetic. New edit at bottom. 24F at the time of this story I was about 9 years old. I had an across the street neighbors that was around my age. We lived in military housing and the parents regularly made the kids get together to keep friends because we moved around so much. Anyway I was invited to a Barbie sleepover birthday party with 2 other girls. Sorry to mention race but it's prevalent to the story but I am mixed and the other girls were white. The day before the party we picked out a skip-it to gift to the birthday girl. The day of the party my mom got me packed for the sleepover and sent me across the street. The party itself went great, we had cake, danced to music, birthday girl opened her gifts and loved the one I got her. Then we started to get settled to watch a movie. That's when things took a turn. I noticed the other girls laughing at me and whispering to each other. Then the birthday girl finally said, actually your mom said you can't stay the night because you are dirty and need to go home to take a bath. Those words have stuck with me to this day. I was confused but I believed her. I was 9 and it was her party. So I grabbed my things and walked back to my house. Naturally my mom questioned me when I got home and I told her what birthday girl said. My mom was not happy. We walked back over, informed the parents and I took back the birthday present. My mom told me it was mine now. Me being a savage 9-year-old played outside with my brand new Skip It while birthday girl watched me from her upstairs window. Edit to clear up some confusion, the birthday girl told me I had to go home. Her parents were not in the room. I got my things and went back to my house. Her parents didn't even know I had left. My parents didn't involve me in the conversation with her parents again. I was 9. Please, this isn't a racial debate in the comments. Kids are mean to kids because they are different. Not only did she make a mean comment to me, I was able to leave their house without the parents realizing. Bullying issue / safety issue. Can you please stop parking on my lawn? Liquid Ass Edition, by Userage Pipe Guy. I used to live in a small house, on a small block with very narrow front lawns, with neighbors very close by. The family over the road had the 2 parents and 5 boys from about 18 down to 7. They were loud, obnoxious, and their way was right. Always doing burnouts, revving their shit 4CYL cars with straight pipes, etc. They had a dozen cats that would be out all night, pissing on everything, killing birds and other wildlife. I turned the hose on 2 cats I saw in my garden. The mum saw it and wasn't the least bit happy. I just waved at her. They would occasionally send the youngest over to try to talk to me about Jesus, and he would tell me I am going to hell for my sins. Anyway, mum had a car, dad had a car, the 2 eldest had a car each, and there was a project car. Nowhere near enough space for these cars, so they would park 1 or 2 up the road at a park and walk down. One day one son decided to park on my front lawn. No biggie. 1 or 2 days won't matter. I'm pretty accommodating. A few days later it was still there. I saw the dad and said I needed the car moved. It was moved, and I mowed the lawn. It was a very nice lawn. Green, thick, healthy. One of the better ones in my street. That afternoon, the car was back on my freshly mowed lawn. This isn't going to resolve itself. I saw them again the next day and said they can't keep parking on my lawn. They have their own space, or keep parking up the street. You've only got 1 car. We have 5 cars, we need the space. Yep, well, the park is a 1-minute walk away, keep parking there. The car was parked back on my lawn again. I saw the dad, never saw the son, and said he needs to move the car. I'm doing some gardening and don't want to damage it, and don't want it in my way. It will be alright, he told me. Like fuck it will. So I got out bags of blood and bone, and threw out heaps of it. It stank. In the garden, on the lawns, some got on the car. Whatever. Dad said it would be fine. It fucking stunk. Being a petty individual at times, this being one of them, I got a bottle of fart spray called Liquid Ass out of the house. I opened the lid and poured a little along the base of the windscreen, where the aircon intake is. Then a little more. I had a chuckle and put the sprinkles on and went inside. About 30 minutes later, son gets in his car to go out. I hear him go, "Ah, what the fuck," and he slammed his car door and drove off. The son never said anything to me, but the dad was pretty upset. He told me how much the car stank from whatever it was I did to my garden, and the son was pissed cause some girl he liked wouldn't get in the car with him. I just said it's okay, it will be alright. He stopped parking there after that. Making my cousin a laughingstock with the pressing of a button, by user sweet_and_sour_01. Posted this in Ida and was told it should be here. So I have a cousin who's overly entitled. I'm talking the self-proclaimed gem of the family, entitled. Never been told no for as long as I've known her. Anyhow, she knew I recently came into some money and figured she deserved a share. She calls my cell and basically demands a share. I laugh and tell her not a chance. I thought that would be the end of it. But no. She goes off on me big time. Saying the most ridiculous entitled crap I've personally witnessed. That she'll get her parents to force me to give her money. How she'll get me disowned from our family, etc. But she didn't know I have an app on my phone which records all calls. I had some legal issue in the past regarding family, so I decided it's best to always have a recording of calls. The ones that are innocent the first always delete. So I send the recording to a tech-savvy friend and asked him to install a small speaker onto a picture frame which is connected to a button. I get a picture of my cousin and place it in the frame. I put it up onto my apartment wall with the button beside it. So now anytime someone wants a laugh they can just push the button and listen to her 45-second over-entitled outburst. It's kind of become the funniest thing, and every time people come over they just have to push the button just to get a laugh. What's in a Wi-Fi name? By useruchentrick_b. I live in a rural area. Some of my family are mixed race. Our road used to be a village long ago, but now is just 10 houses on a mile of road with acreage behind each house. When we moved here, one neighbor in particular was difficult to get along with. He keyed my vehicle and wrote slurs on it, amongst other things. The sheriff was no help. But that was a few years ago, and we got past it. It helps that the rest of the neighbors like us, but not him so much. He had hacked into his neighbor's cable lines and had run a cord from another neighbor's outside electric socket and used their electric without their permission, and stole tools from garages, stuff like that. We keep our property neat, help shovel walks, and look in on the couple of elderly folks in the neighborhood, so most folks like us. Last summer I noticed that hateful neighbors, HN for short, house seemed to not be lived in. A local farmer was mowing his yard with a tractor, so it looked pretty rough. I didn't care enough to ask anyone about him. Yesterday I was out getting ready for a big winter storm that's coming through. We have farm animals, so I was puttering outside all day. At one point my closest neighbor stopped by to talk about the coming storm, and I mentioned that my mailbox was knocked down again, and asked him if he'd seen the snowplow do it. It was weird, because it was a couple days after a snow, so I wondered if it actually was a snowplow. My neighbor said he was pretty sure it was HN, since he was back. Seems he came back just after Christmas, but I hadn't noticed. So this morning I asked our mail carrier. She has all the scoops, and she said that yeah, the mailbox damage was from him. He and a friend had damaged several with a baseball bat one night, and she had reported it, but like I said, our sheriff is kinda useless. She also told me that HN had been involved in some well-publicized criminal activity down in Washington, D.C. last winter with a buddy of his and several thousand other people. His buddy's family turned them both into the FBI hotline, so they both have been couch surfing all over for months to keep from being picked up. They ran out of friends and money, and had to come back. She said that when she took him his mail, he had asked why there were utility trucks out. He wondered if they were tapping the phone and electric lines, and was paranoid until she told him it was probably because of the storm coming, but he still seemed freaked out, she said. Then she kept on her route because it was starting to rain, and soon it will change to freezing ice. So I came in, happy that all the animals are safe and snug, and I made a cup of hot tea and changed my Wi-Fi name to FBI Surveillance. Edited to add, I did call the FBI tip line yesterday, shortly after posting this. I commented after I had, but I know there are too many comments to sort through to see that. And yes, this is the same neighbor I had posted about before. This was going to be an update on that post, but the other one was removed by mods, so I didn't link to it.